Only on Denver 7 tonight, a mother of 6 ends up murdered, and our investigators uncovered a significant mistake made by a deputy that might have prevented her death from happening.
Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski is here, and Tony, you've discovered a deputy lied about what happened right before the murder.
Yeah, Eric, and we found it inside this search warrant. Bottom line here, a deputy dropping the ball during an extremely critical time in the manhunt. Tonight, Denver 7 investigates a department betrayed and a deputy's decision. This is a story about a murdered mother of 6.
She's a really good mother who really didn't deserve anything that happened to her.
About a husband's violent history.
Is in possession of a small handgun and is potentially homicidal and suicidal.
And a story connecting the dots between a critical phone call and a deputy's decision to distort the truth. Did your office consider criminal charges against this deputy?
We did, and I think we still do.
But months before the district attorney investigated the deputy's decision, Kirsten Lockett was asking for help.
Richard Lockett is possibly in the Elbert or Lincoln County area.
This arrest warrant came out of Lincoln County last July. Kirsten's husband, Rick, accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting her. He was a wanted man.
He was wanted in connection for multiple felonies.
5 days later, police responded to Kirsten's brother's home in Castle Rock. Inside, Kirsten was dead, stabbed multiple times, and according to police, her husband Rick was in the closet with her, along with a knife.
There were 2 phone calls between our agencies advising them of the armed and dangerous indicator on Mr. Lockett.
Days after police arrested Rick Lockett, Lincoln County officials told Denver 7 a sheriff's deputy made a critical call to Castle Rock during their search for Rick Lockett.
They were given a specific address of concern as well as specific information as regard to extra patrols and increased vigilance.
Painful?
It is painful.
Lincoln County Sheriff Tom Nestor answered our questions after Denver 7 Investigates uncovered this search warrant. It confirmed one of his deputies distorted the truth, claiming he called the Castle Rock Police Department asking for increased patrols. When you learned that the deputy, in fact, was not truthful, your reaction?
I was absolutely shocked. I mean, absolutely shocked that those calls weren't made because I was told they were.
According to this document, cell phone data shows Rick Lockett was in the Castle Rock area for 2 days before the murder. It also showed Deputy Kurt Wineski admitted he had been untruthful. He never made the call to Castle Rock. Did this deputy embarrass your department?
He did. I will be blunt and say yes, he did.
That's when Lincoln County Sheriff's Captain Michael Yell says their agency called the Colorado State Patrol, Colorado Springs Police, and soon after, Castle Rock Police directly.
When you hear that,
It hurts. It hurts.
your name and your picture, your credibility.
My face. Yeah.
Captain Michael Yowell now knows he misinformed the public because his deputy didn't tell the truth.
I thought I could trust him, and for every intent and purpose, I should have been able to trust him, and that trust was violated.
The integrity of your police department was put into question here. Castle Rock Police Chief Jack Cawley investigated Lincoln County's claim.
We discovered that we did not receive the call from Lincoln County.
That deputy is no longer employed in Lincoln County. Surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Should that deputy be allowed to work in another department?
You know, I'm not going to make a decision on that. He won't work in this department.
Officially, Deputy Kurt Wineski resigned for personal reasons, and the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office still does not know why he failed to make those calls to protect Kirsten Lockett. One could argue that if those calls would have been made, Kirsten Lockett might be alive today.
Tony, I don't know. I can't ever say that we would know that.
Does Deputy Wineski have blood on his hands for what happened?
No, I would say that's not my perspective. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with this defendant in this case. Do I wish that those calls would have went out? Absolutely. I wish that, but they didn't.
So now, 7 months later, you have a husband behind bars, 6 children without a mother, and 2 communities left with questions.
It's sad. It's totally sad. I feel very bad for her kids, and it should have never happened.
Rick Lockett sits behind bars tonight, charged with his wife's murder. The trial now scheduled to begin later this year. We made several attempts to reach Deputy Kurt Wineski to get explanations for exactly what happened. He did not respond. We also learned after leaving Lincoln County, he was hired as a volunteer reserve deputy in neighboring Cheyenne County. But shortly after we made a phone call asking about that hiring, his employment was terminated.
Very frustrating.
So troubling. All right, Tony,
thanks a lot,
thank you. And right now on the denverchannel.com, we have a complete timeline of this case.